Hello everyone, we warmly welcome you all to our special program brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. I am your host Vatika Singh. Indian Achievers Award is an honor that celebrates the people who went extraordinary to effectuate their aspirations and ideas. In this series, we emphasize not only on the struggles and achievements of the people, but also on the social contributions they made to their native land, India. Before introducing you all to our one such achiever, let's take a look at the small AV.
The Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows, and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
Mr. Venkat Raghavan is part of the Tesco India Executive Leadership Team and the Tesco Business Solutions Global Leadership Team. Venkat has transformed this team into a unit that plays a central role in Tesco's group strategy. This includes setting up of an analytics center of excellence, partnering with the CXOs and delivering commercial impact and cultural transformation by solving a combination of day-to-day decision challenges as well as step change transformation such as customer personalization, category management science, large-scale demand forecasting, and cost-based optimization and experimentation science across group businesses. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, Vatika. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine as well. So, before entering into the questions, tell us something about you and your professional role so far.
Sure. Okay. My name is Venkat Raghavan. I am the Global Director of Analytics for Tesco. Tesco is a global retailer. We are into food retailing. Um, so our purpose is to ensure that we give healthy food choices to all our customers in the countries that we operate in. We're roughly 70 billion in size. We're in 6 countries. And in India, we have a joint venture partnership with the Tata Group, and we operate under the Star Bazaar banner here. So my role at Tesco is to ensure that we leverage the power of analytics and data science to ensure that all the decisions that we take in our business, whether it's how do we engage with the customers or how do we price our products or how do we manage our supply chain better, all of those decisions come from the science that my team builds. And it's a global team that I lead. Again, the team sits across 6 countries. We're roughly 300 people in size. So the idea is how do we unleash the power of analytics, data science, AI to make sure that we take our decisions better as a business.
That's really great, sir. So, I'm really keen to know that how did you venture into the world of data science? Tell us more about your journey.
My journey is a slightly different one to many other people who are experts in this industry. I started my career as a Java developer um, uh, quite a few years ago. And when I started getting into coding, which is a very common profession in India, what I learned is that I need to understand what I'm coding and why I'm coding. So I started asking a lot of questions, and somebody told me that if you have so many questions on your mind before coding a module, you probably have to move into a place which gives you the freedom to question things a lot more. And then I spoke to a few more people, and at that point in time, analytics or data science was not a really big thing. So I was advised to get into this whole area of business analysts and business analysis. So that's how I got into this space of understanding business. And as math and science became a more important part in the industries over the last 10, 15 years, I sort of got into this area of data science, because when you put questions and facts and data together, you get many interesting insights. So about 15 years ago, I got into the space of analytics. And then from there on, it's been a great ride for me. So it's this curiosity behind asking why we are doing something and the freedom to ask those questions and then use data to solve the why. So that's how I got into this industry.
Right. So, moving ahead, we know for a fact that starting anything has never been easy for any one of us. So, what all were the challenges that you had to go through initially when you started working in the field of data science with India as the base?
I think it's a good question. Change is always tough. We always think about change, but changing is a difficult process. Um, so what I felt is that whether it's analytics or data science, for that matter, even programming, in the last 15 years, I have seen a shift in the whole importance that we give to the skill of data science, or the skill of programming, or the skill of, let's say, financial expertise. I think the importance of skill is becoming less and less important, which means that when you pick up any new industry or any new area, or if you start a company for that matter, the ability to learn very quickly and make quick shifts, quick pivots. For me, for example, when I moved from programming into analytics and science, it was a big change because I had to understand the context of the business much more than just writing a piece of code. I had to engage in a conversation with business leaders. Their priorities are very different from um, uh, what you have to do in analytics or data science. They talk about business, so you cannot talk about data science to them because they don't understand data science. So the whole importance of context of business and context of what people are trying to achieve, um, before you think about what you are there to do. If you think of yourself as a data scientist in a business meeting, then it's going to be a little difficult to engage. So therefore, that shift of letting go of your expertise and then giving more importance to context of the business, context of the conversation, context of the person that you're talking with, it's a big change, because we're all very proud of what we do and who we are. And when you have to make a change into a new industry or into a new company, you have to let go of that expertise and understand the context in which you are trying to make something happen. So that was the single biggest change for me. So I took a lot of time. I took a lot of mentorship to understand how to pick up the whole context piece, and I think that has helped me tremendously in the last maybe 10 years or so. Because then you can have very rich conversations that everybody appreciates, and nobody's intimidated by data science and AI has a lot of technical terms. So if you let go of all those terms and expertise when you have a conversation with somebody, I think it could be a very rich conversation, and then you can always come back home and then do what you're really good at, which is data science. So that shift in thinking context and not skill and expertise is a very important challenge for me.
Right. So, talking about capabilities, what are the differentiated capabilities that you're building as of now?
So let me tell you a little bit about the team itself. I mentioned earlier that Tesco is a 70 billion organization in 6 countries. So the scale of operations is really big. We we sort of we touch the lives of roughly 30 million shoppers globally. So the team that we have built here it's all about, if you know Formula One. Formula One is a very scientific sport. So when you see a lot of racing happening on the track, what you don't see is there's a data science team for every sort of Formula One team, which is sitting somewhere else in a completely different continent, and they're tracking all of the data that's happening in the race, and they're trying to give real-time recommendations to the driver on how to get an edge over the other team and how to win the race. So what my team does is very similar to that team, which supports the Formula One racer. So my team is constantly looking at all the data that's happening in our stores, in our online e-commerce website, on our app, in our supply chain, in our operations, and we're constantly trying to give very smart signals to our the people who run our business, whether it's finance or marketing, or people who run the stores, or people who run the .com or the e-commerce business we have. We want to be this data science team, and we have built a differentiated capability over the last 4 years, predominantly out of India, but we also have presence in other countries. But this engine room, which is sitting in India, is constantly analyzing all parts of our business and giving guidance on how to win this retail race in the industries and in the markets that we operate in. So that's the differentiated capability. Uh, and through this capability, we have gotten a lot of trust and very senior leaders in Tesco, which means that any futuristic problems that we need to solve, we also participate in thinking the future, the 5 year out problem, the 3 year out problem. So that's the differentiated capability, which is similar to the data science team in a Formula One race, which is trying to make their team win that very competitive race.
Right, sir. So, since you mentioned about problems in the near future and their solutions respectively, what are your plans in the upcoming future?
So, in the upcoming future, AI is definitely going to play a very big role.
Mhm.
AI opens up a lot of new possibilities, but there are also a lot of potential threats with data and privacy. So I think that in the next 3 to 4 years, our focus is going to be about understanding the possibilities of AI and creating a lot of homegrown AI capabilities, AI frameworks, and AI assets and algorithms to make sure that we can anticipate what is going to happen with the customers, what is going to happen with the suppliers, what is going to happen in the countries that we operate in, and be the cutting edge retailer when it comes to taking decisions faster than anyone else in the industry. But the whole idea of generative AI is not just AI, but generative AI is also a very important part of our future. So generative AI, in a nutshell, is a big step forward. AI can help you answer questions and get to something that you want, but generative AI also has the ability to be your partner in thinking. So generative AI can help us understand what's the next big opportunity in the country that we operate in. What are the customers thinking and feeling? Where do we see opportunities in sort of creating new designs of stores? How do we interact with the customers better when they call us for an issue? So generative AI is going to be our partner in thinking about new possibilities in our business. So the whole future, at least for the next 3 to 4 years, is going to be about unleashing more AI and specifically more Gen AI use cases into our business.
So, since we're talking about AI over here, what are your thoughts on India becoming the global hub of AI in the future?
I think we already are on the way to becoming the global sort of engine or the global hub for AI and generative AI. What we are really good as a country, I also am a part of NASCOM. I help NASCOM define the future skills, starting with schools and colleges and for working professionals. So one of the discussion topics that we discuss in NASCOM is the fact that we are very, very good in understanding upcoming trends, and we are one of the countries that can pick up a new trend and adopt it very quickly. A classic example that we all know is we skipped telephones and we directly got into mobile phones, as an example, and there are many such examples. So what we are very confident of as sort of the industry leaders in ASCOM is that we will be really good in adopting Gen AI. And we'll be very good in understanding prompt engineering, and we'll be very good in understanding how design can happen through Gen AI and how industries can be shifted through Gen AI. But what we also want India to be is a little more than adopting and being good at unleashing the power. We also want India to go deep in doing research. Can we come up with our own large language models? Can we come up with our own OpenAI equivalent, which is built in India, tested in India, and built for the world? So the thought process and the suggestion and where I feel India can and should get into is, well, we're really good in adopting and scaling technologies. We also have to invest in policy, in sort of R&D, in the culture of going deep and creating um, in India, testing in India, but then scaling it for the world. So that's the opportunity that I see.
All right, sir. So now, first of all, congratulations on winning the Indian Achievers Award. I really want to know that what was the feeling when you came to know that you've been conferred with this award, and who all have been your constant supporters in this journey?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Vatika. It's a really big honor for me. And I'll tell you why, this award is, it's a very special award. I've been sort of gifted enough to win a few awards. But when you see your name with a citation which says that you're a part of the nation building process, it becomes very special. It makes me think of all the journey that I've taken, and it makes it all worth it when you're a part of the nation building exercise. And I truly feel, we're at the cusp of becoming the nation which is going to drive the future of AI and generative AI for the world. And I think we just need to take that gift and build on it. So that makes this award very special for me. And when I have to sort of talk about people who have helped me get here, it's I always feel that you're as good as the ecosystem or the network that you're in. And right from the first person who told me that if you are very curious and if you have a lot of questions, you have to look at something beyond development. I was starting with that individual to all the colleagues that I've worked with, to the current organization, Tesco. Tesco is one of the largest retailers in the world. Highly sophisticated when it comes to analytics and data science. So Tesco, my peer group, my bosses in Tesco, my leaders in Tesco, they've all given me and my team the opportunity to explore and sort of become the thought leaders within Tesco and also become the thought leaders for the industry. So I have to thank my family, I have to thank my friends, I have to thank all the people who have sort of given me a little bit of nudge, saying, "Hey, understand your potential. Think about what you're really good at. If this is not the right thing for you, what else is the right thing for you?" Plus the Tesco ecosystem and my leadership team and my peers. So I have to thank all of them because it's very easy to take credit for all your success, but it's probably not the right thing to do. We are only here because of the ecosystem and the support that you've gotten from all of these people.
Right. So now, since we know a lot about your professional role, tell us something about your social contribution towards giving back to the society and also in helping India grow as a global hub.
Yeah, I think it's a very important responsibility that every leader should understand and act on. Um, it's also a very difficult challenge to do a lot of things outside of the core responsibility that you've taken in an organization, because it's quite a big responsibility, and you have to move the organization and your team forward, and you have to think about it all the time. But I do a few things to just make sure that there's a larger contribution. One, like I said, NASCOM is our sort of industry body which tries to create the right interventions when it comes to country level changes and policy changes. So I try to participate in NASCOM and I try to sort of share my advice, my inputs, and sort of prepare our country for the next level of growth through NASCOM. It's a good way to help the country, is what I feel. So that's one. Second is I also try to make sure that from time to time I write on the learnings that we have seen, being part of the team which is trying to push the boundaries within Tesco, which is a global organization. I try to write on what are we learning. What are we learning in terms of scaling this capability? What are we learning in terms of understanding customers? What did we learn through COVID? So I do write a lot, whether it's through LinkedIn or through media articles. I do make it a point to write and share the learnings with the larger community. The third thing that I also do is I do reach out and sort of meet students through colleges, whether it's India-based colleges or international universities. I do like meeting the future leaders of this industry, and I give them the learnings, and I also give them the confidence that they can really emerge as the leaders of the space of the industry. And I also try to make sure that we present opportunities for colleges to intern with us. So we do invite colleges to come and talk about their capability. We take interns from them, and we give them opportunities to really build their career through us in Tesco. And these are the things that I try to do. I try to make sure that the connection between industry and academia, and industry and the government policy making, and the industry and, let's say, the peer group, I just try to be a bridge as much as I can. Um, that's all I do.
Right, sir. So before concluding this session, you know that Indian Achievers Forum is not only followed by mainstream organizations, but also those young minds who aspire to be like our achievers someday. So, what is that one message you would like to give to the new generation who are who are trying to be the leaders in the field of data science and AI?
They're super smart. I don't think they need a lot of advice, but if I have to share a couple of learnings with them, uh, maybe I'll just share two. The one thing that I'll talk about probably is, in India, we've been trained to think about smartness and intelligence as a function of how much we know. And if there's a student in the classroom who always answers the question first and fast, we think of them as the smartest person in the room. I think we need to challenge the thinking, because the rate at which technology is growing, the rate at which AI is growing, generative AI is growing, the real deal or the real trick is not going to be about how much you know already. The real question is about how much do you appreciate what you don't know, and how much can you learn fast. So the question is going to shift from, we all know that AI is a topic in like ninth grade or 10th grade today. So the importance of knowing AI is becoming less and less of a significant factor. What is more important is what can we solve with AI? What are the real problems in India as a country? Because I was having a discussion with somebody, and they said many people don't realize that India is the biggest supermarket of problems in the world, and I'm saying that in a very positive light. So we have high opportunities to disrupt uh, problem spaces for India and for the globe. But somewhere I do want people to understand that smartness is not just about knowing things. Smartness is about finding what you don't know and pursuing what could make a difference for you and for the rest of the people in the country. So it has to shift. That's one thing. Second thing is a more general advice that somebody gave me a while ago. uh, we're all becoming very um digitally distracted these days. So everybody has a lot of apps, everybody has a lot of things to do. So somebody once told me that, look, you have everything accessible in the world today, but if you have to become somebody who is called a leader in the industry, you have to know that you can have anything you want, but not everything. So you have to make choices on what you want in life. If you want to get into a particular industry and become a leader in that industry, you have to put that as the non-negotiable and make some sacrifices. So you cannot have everything that you want and everything that you like in a package. That's not how life works. So that's the other suggestion that I will pass on, because I got that suggestion and it hit me very deep. And I think it is still helping me. So these are the two things I would like to share.
And that, I must say, is a great piece of advice. Thank you so much for joining with us today. It was pleasure talking with you, and we hope that you continue to inspire people of all ages forever. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Vatika. Very nice talking to you too.